so let's talk about Web Builder. So Web Builder, sorry, I want to leave the other platform I was on. Okay, so Web Builder here is accessed with this tile that says Web Builder. Okay, it's the 8th tile in the system right here. Everybody has an individual agent web page. Whether you're going to use it or not, everybody has one. And so if I click here to Web Builder, it opens up my agent website, and now I am in editing mode. How do I know that I am in edit mode? Well, I've just got this thin little bar at the top that says hi and my name, and then over here my on-page edit pieces. So that's how I know that I am here in Web Builder. Other than that, most everything we are going to do, we are going to edit directly on the page. So it's an incredibly easy platform to use, but like anything else, you're just going to have to learn as we go the little idiosyncrasies. Okay? So everyone's got an individual agent website. Yours won't look like this because I've already selected a different template. So we'll walk through and we'll talk about how to be able to select templates. This is just for the top section. As you scroll down, it's got a section for your bio. This bio here is not the bio from your profile. Okay, the bio from your profile shows up on the agent profile page in the corporate website. All right, this bio is edited directly on this page and is completely different. I'll show you how to edit it today. Featured listings. This shows your existing featured listings. If you don't have, I think, 12, then you can go ahead and, or the system pulls in additional listings from your office. If you would like to add specific featured listings to this section, I will show you how to do that. Sold listings. We are retrieving a lot of sold listings. I don't believe that we are displaying everything. We had some questions on that last week. It should be your most recent buyer and seller side, and I think we cap it at around 100. I don't think people are going to look at more than 100 listings, but I do have those of you that right now are saying, oh no, my prospects will look at every single one of my solds. So anyway, we'll find a way probably to get a few more on there. If we need to, I totally understand. I'm going to show you how to manage your sold listings as well and add to those. So that's your basic home page. You have got the same property search that the company site does. So if I start typing in something on the property search quick search bar, like Sellwood, I can actually search, the regular Sellwood search. Search is not ready yet. It'll be ready in a couple of weeks. I mean, you can certainly go in there and play around with it. Totally good. But you'll see some missing data. Secondary pictures are running a little bit slow. There's all sorts of little things here and there. But for the most part, you can get a good feel. The search is phenomenal. It really is a great, great piece of technology. We've got your sub-agent. I say sub-agent. I don't know why. Your personal brand, I guess is what we'll say. So we've got your personal brand up here. For those of you that are looking at your horizontal layout here, you'll see your personal logo on the right-hand side. For those of you that have never uploaded your personal logo, if you don't have one, it's totally fine. The site looks fine without that. I've got my navigation here. These little garbage cans mean I can hide these if I want to. This is an actual one that I dropped on there, and so I can edit it or I can get rid of it right here. I can add pages underneath, and then if there was a page here, I could add another page underneath that. I can tree out just fine. Let's talk about communities real quickly. So one of the things I want to do with communities is your marketing group is giving me a segmentation of community areas. So there'll be, let's say, 7 or 8, right? One will be like Vancouver. One will be North Vancouver. One will be Vancouver East Side. One will be Northwest Portland, right? And then under each one of these are all the communities that live in that general area. I'm going to create a drop-down for every one of those general areas. So let's say there'll be 10 drop-downs here. Northwest Portland, East Side, West Side, Southwest, Southeast, Vancouver, right? This way, for those of you that don't want community sections to show up in areas that you don't work, you can just hide those navigations without having to hide the entire community section. So this will be a really nice feature. We'll have this ready middle of next week, and so just drop into your web builder here, put your mouse over the top of the community you want to hide. Let's say it's Northwest Portland, and put your mouse over the top, hit the little garbage can, right, and then it will actually hide that. Okay, so that's how we're going to deal with that. And I had several questions about that last week, right? we've got all these communities, which is great, but I only do Vancouver, and so I really don't want to show all the different Portland neighborhoods, and that's totally fine. You'll be able to hide those on your own individually by large segments. If I used this drop down and showed all the communities under here, there'd be, when we get down, like 150, and it's just obviously too many menu items for that. Okay, so let's take a look at this page a little bit. We've got, first of all, the template, how everything is arranged, right, left to right. We've got my picture here, my general information here, my search is down here. I've got my secondary information there that locks to the top no matter what page I'm on. That template can be changed. Let's start with changing templates. I go to my HiCan upper left-hand settings button. I click that and I go to website settings and layout. All right? Now, couple of things on this little overlay. If you would like to put your own Google Analytics tracking code, you can. If you want to put your own GTM tag manager, you can. We are also adding here, it should be ready next week, Facebook Pixel ID. So for those of you that are running Facebook ads, Facebook gives you a little Pixel ID, and you can drop that into the site here, and that's for tracking purposes for Facebook. If I want to change my template, I go ahead and click Change Layout. When I do that, I've got all these templates that I can flip through. Some are just color scheme changes, right? Look at the button here is gray, and here the button is red, right? Some are just simple color scheme layout changes, and they change some buttons and navigation and social things up there. And then some are actual structural changes, right? Where it will show searches here on the home page still, but right over here, you've got all of your different branding pieces. If I keep scrolling, search disappears from the window and then ties up to the top. And so you've got your search up, tied across the top, and then you've got your branding with a big blue bar with no transparency over here. So you get the idea. If you've got your own personal kind of brand image that you really want in the home and you don't want the search to overlay the top, this is what you would use, right? Versus something that's a little bit more messy on the front when it comes to your agent name and a little bit more gray on the search. So we'll select this one. I click on select, and immediately it just changes the page and it's done. This is live. We're doing all of this like right here. All right? All right. So let's see here. I've got my search here. I've got all my branding here. You can see my certificate, my designations are down here. I speak Irish and Swedish apparently, and I click on this Email Me tab. One thing I will say, we've received a request from marketing and IT to change this email to your actual email address. So that will be changed next week as well. Okay? Also, all of you should have your proper broker assignment phrase in there, which should be good, and that's good there. Okay, so down here you can see when I changed that template, a few things changed down here. My About Me became tabs, featured listings, and my sold listings. Okay, so just a few things changed here and there, but you get the idea. All right? Okay, so that's how you change your template. Now, most of you are thinking, well, that's great for templates. What I really want to do is change this background photo to something amazing that I have, right? That's totally fine. While you're on this home page, so I'm here on the home page in edit mode, upper right-hand corner, I can click on the second link, which says Manage Banner Photos. So I click on that link. Here are the two photos that I've selected to be part of my rotation. So right now, I went into this library, and I'll show you where it is in a second, and these are pictures that the marketing group has preloaded for you guys. Okay? So they're royalty-free images that you guys can use to your heart's desire and build your own gallery based on areas. This one here is Mount Hood. Obviously, you've got the Portland sign right here. If I would like to modify it, now by modifying, it would just change the order. So let's say I change the order to order number 1, right? Versus this one I could change to order 2. That's what I would do there, or I can just remove it. So I can remove that one. Are you sure you want to? I click on remove, and it says it was correctly removed. Now all I have is this. It's not a slideshow anymore. It's just this straight banner image. So let's say I want to add another one to there from the existing library that marketing has put together for you guys. So now I go down to the import bar. So I click import, and there's a whole bunch. So we've got the fountain, we've got the Mount Hood Vista view, we've got, oh, that's a really cool one. Let's do that one. So I click on import, banner photo added successfully. Okay. If I want to do another one, I'll do that one. Banner photo added successfully. When I'm done adding those, I just click that little button, and then I'm done. Now I'll hit refresh, and we'll wait, and what we should see is this Old Town photo, and then that should rotate to the other two photos that I selected. If you're not patient enough and you want to make sure, well, it already did it. But you get the idea. You can hit Manage Banner Photos, go back, and look, they're right there. So that's how you deal with banner images when you want to create your own slideshow from marketing supplied photos. Now let's say I want to drop one in there that is my own image. I want to keep these three, but I also want one that's mine. Here I click on New, and then the system says I can give it a title, so no one's really going to see this, but I'll give it a title, Outdoor Living. And then it says, hey, make sure that you are at the proper resolution and the proper size perspective. So what is that? Well, we would like a 2x1, 2 times wide as 1 time tall, and then preferably 1600 by 800 pixels or higher. Now, that doesn't change. I mean, if you have a terrible looking photo, that's not going to make it all of a sudden look great, right? But that will give you the proper resolution. And then what order do you want it? If there's no order, it's just going to be whatever the order was uploaded. Okay, so I'm going to choose my file, and I'm going to go to my photography section, and I know where my file is. It's right there. It's called Hero Image 1, and I want to click on Open. And when I do that, I click on Save. It uploads that image, and now that becomes part of my slider. So now I've got these as my slider. I've got my Outdoor Living, these two right here, and then I just click and toggle off of that, hit refresh, and now I've got my own slider display. Okay? So you've got a lot of options here. If you don't ever touch it, whatever we do on the company site, it's going to be duplicated on yours. So it's still going to look great, right? If you want to add your own, then you can add your own by just uploading. And you can upload as many as you want. You can upload 10. No one's going to look at 10 photos, FYI, because they're like on 8-second rotations. But if you'd like to, you totally can. If you want to do a combination, then you can do a combination. That's what I just did. I added this Outdoor Living photo, which should come up next. And then that's a combination. Or if you want to do just really cool areas that are preloaded, there's my Outdoor Living photo. If you want to do ones that are preloaded, you can do that too. So you can see you've got a ton of different options when it comes to what you want that banner image to be and then what you want overlaid on that banner image. So you've got your brandings taken care of here. You've got your big banner image here. You can take these things and get them off and move them to the right-hand side. All of that is controlled in Website Settings and Layout, okay? And right here in Manage Banner Photos, okay? So that's where that stuff is, and that will get you all kind of started. So that's just for this top section to give you a nice personable site. Everything on the agent websites is completely mobile and tablet responsive, has been for a couple years. Search is responsive. Everything that you put in here is going to be responsive, so all of that should function and look great on cell phones and tablets. As I scroll down the page, I've got my featured listings and I've got my sold. Let's go through these 3 pieces and personalize these 3 to make the changes that I need to, and then we will do questions, and then after that we will go into pages and navigation. Okay? So I've got my About Me. For most of you, this is blank unless you've started to actually do something with it. So your little button down here will say New. Mine says Edit because I've already got something in there. So I'm going to click on Edit. It's going to open that on a page. Just ignore this title. We hide this title, but it comes across in all the different pages, so don't worry about that. If I want to edit this right here, I just click into it, and I've got my editor. I'm going to edit right here on the home page. I'm going to edit right here on the page where I can see everything. This is where my new text shows up. Isn't this easy? Right? Now you'd want to put a paragraph about yourself there. Google is indexing all of these on a daily, weekly basis. So, use phrases like, I've been a real estate agent serving the Vancouver area and buyers and sellers for 13 years. I mean, use real estate-ish terms, right, without sounding too corny. If you would like to drop in an embedded video, and I would highly recommend that. People love testimonial videos, and you can do it right here on your bio. I will show you how to do that. So let's go and grab. This is going to be the same for pages as it is for this bio section. We see this bio as a page just embedded in that one little section. So let's go ahead and do an embedded video, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So watch and follow along, and then we'll have this video if you need to see in the future. So I'm assuming if you have a video, right, you're doing video, you probably have your own YouTube channel. In other words, the video is stored somewhere online, and it really needs to be, right? You can't just have it on your system. It wouldn't do any good right there. So let's assume you get it up to YouTube. So you go to YouTube. So I'm just opening, I've left all my stuff open over here. I'm just opening another tab up here. So we go to YouTube, and we search for, let's see what we get. Vancouver Realtor. This could be really scary. Okay. Let's say Vancouver Remax Realtor. All right. So I'm in dangerous territory here because I don't know who these people are. But let's say here that I've got my video is on my page, and I've got my video that I want to do. Here we go. We'll do Leslie. That's perfect. So from here, we're on Leslie's page. So this is, let's say this is the video that I want to do right here. I click on it. So this is the page that we want to get to. Is this specific page right here? Oh, I think that's Vancouver, BC. Anyway, that's all right. What we want to do is we want to jump to this button that says share. Okay? So when I click on share, I get this little link, and I get this little chunk of code that's called embed. And I'm going to click on that embed link. And then in this embed link here, this is the chunk of code I want. Google knows, YouTube knows, that I want to copy this. So as soon as I click it, it highlights the whole thing, and I just right-click and hit copy. So all I got to do is right-click and hit copy, and then that's all I need to do. Or you can do this little copy button right down here. And then all you do is you go in here. Now, that's a little chunk of code, right? It starts with a little, right here it starts with this little iframe, and it says width. You can obviously see it's a little bit of code. You don't have to understand it, just understand that it is code. And you click down here where you want to put it. You click on source, and then you right-click, and you hit paste. And when I do that, it drops that video in right where I wanted it to, right? So let's say I had a paragraph of text, and then I had a nice little video about myself. I could even highlight the whole thing and center it if I wanted to, right? Which might look better on the page. When I go up here, let's say I want to save this, I'm ready to go. All of our save options are back up here on this page menu. You notice how this page menu changed? It changes based on what you need to do. So you only need to go to the same place every time. Everything's over here on the right-hand side. So I click save, and then when I do that, I go back to my home page. So now I'm on my home page, I scroll down, and there it is. This is where my new text shows up, and this is the video that I embedded. All right, so you can see how that works. Pretty straightforward. I can put a text down here. I can leave it left or right justified. Bullet points are great. Just make it easy for people to read. Tell them a little bit about you, and if you have a personal video, that is absolutely the way to go. All right, let's manage our featured listings and sold. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you would like to get a couple of featured listings that are, let's say, in a specific area that you market on a regular basis. They're not your listings, but you'd like them to show up in your featured listings, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So we want to manage those. So we go up to our upper left-hand bar, and we click Manage My Featured Listings. All right? This is where your Manage Your Featured Listings and Manage My Sold Listings exists. This is super, super straightforward. This is the only thing that's showing up in my featured listings. Let's say I did not want that to show up in my featured listings. It was one of my listings, but it was a piece of land in foreclosure for $72,000, right? If that was the case, I could click this X, and it would not show up in my featured listings anymore. Okay? Let's say I want to add another featured listing of something I want to showcase in the front page of my site. So please enter your MLS ID. So I've got my MLS number here, 175345546. I think I copied that down correctly. I click on search. It shows me what that listing is, right? I say, yep, that's the one I want. I click this little plus sign. The property's been added. Now, look, I got them both. So now I've got this one, and it's going to stay there until the property goes off market or until I get rid of it. So that would be great for those of you that maybe do a lot of riverfront property or Lake Oswego property or little niche neighborhoods or whatever. You can put other featured listings in there. None of that doesn't say anywhere on the site that those are your listings. Those could just be focused on areas that you want people to notice, right? And I think that's totally legit. Other people in your office, anything in the RMLS can go there, okay? So that's how you manage featured listings. Managing sold listings is exactly the same thing. So now, let's say I'll go back to the website. Every time I come back to this homepage, I'm just clicking my logo. That takes me back to the homepage. For those of you that were not following that, I go back down here, I click featured listings, and look, they're both right there. Okay, really nice little layout, nice and simple. They're sorted by newest to oldest, and so that's why that one is there first, right? It's the newest one that I added. Let's say I wanted to do the same thing for solds. Well, upper left-hand corner, I click on HiCAN, I say manage my sold properties. So why would you want to put something in there that's not there? Which is a great question, right? So because we're pulling everything that's buyer side and seller side, and so everything that you've been a part of a transaction should be there. Well, let's say you were part of a team, and everything on that team was listed with the other team members' MLS ID. I think there's obviously a legitimately we could say that you were active in the selling of that property, right? Because you were part of the team that sold it, but it just would never show up in our database. So this is the place where you would put that to make sure it shows up on your website. So same thing, manage my sold. If you want to get rid of some little foreclosure land sales up in Amboy, that's totally good. You click on X and they will not show up in there. Not that there's anything wrong with land sales in Amboy. But if I want to add another one that is not in this gallery, I just drop in my cursor and I click in the MLS number, 174118868. I click search. It shows me that listing. I say, yep, that's the right one. It's still searching. Hold on one second. I say, yep, that's the right one. I was part of that sale. I click on plus, and it says the property's been added, and it refreshes the page, and now that's part of my sold gallery. Okay? If we go to the back end of the site, then what you can do is you can actually define the order of the solds. Price high to low, low to high, and then sold newest to oldest and oldest to newest. Okay? So that's on the back end under my listings. Oh, and Leslie just asked that question. I just saw that. So in the back end under my listings, and I'm not quite sure that that's active yet, but it will be. So you can just go in and choose on the profile, manage my sold listings, price lowest to highest, highest to lowest, or newest to oldest, oldest to newest. And then, of course, if you need to sort more than that, that means you've probably got stuff in there you just don't want to see. Take a few minutes, go to this page, and just exit all out, and then we don't have to worry about it in the first place. Okay, so I click on the logo. It takes me back to the home page. So we've talked about the banner photo. We've talked about our template, right? We've talked about just basically how to hide these, especially when the other community sections come. As we scroll down, we've talked about how to edit our bio, and we've talked about featured listings and solds and how to manage those. So we're about halfway through this session. Open it up to questions, but if you're waiting to talk about pages and how we build specific pages, right, which is going to be up here and new page, and we'll also cover some search engine optimization stuff. We will still do that in a few minutes. So any questions on the stuff we've covered so far? Settings and templates, tracking codes, featured and sold property management, and then, of course, managing your bio section, your About Me section. Questions? I'll give you guys a couple of seconds because I saw something on this page I want to change, so I'm going to put it into my notes. 1 second. All right, any questions? All right, so let's now talk about specifically with Web Builder. Let's get into building new pages and then how we put those pages in your navigation. So the first thing to understand is your navigation can be a generic link going somewhere else, or it can actually be a page that you've built. So let's say I wanted to put a link here that was just find me on Facebook, right? And it was just a link that would then open up someone's Facebook so they could friend me on Facebook. Well, in that case, I would click this little plus sign. Okay, so I'm going to click this little plus sign here. As I click it, it says Navigator item. What is the title of that item? Find me on, you can see I've done this example before, find me on Facebook. Where am I going to link that to? Okay, well in this case, all the links that we're going to do, we're actually going to just show the relative pages. So I would go to Facebook, and I would go to my bio page, but let's assume that I copied and pasted that link. It would be something like www.facebook.com/Ken Elmer, right? I think it's Ken Elmer 7 or something like that. That would be Facebook. Where do I want to put it? Do I want to put it as the first, right? There's three things, Beaverton Homes, Property Search, and Communities up here. Do I want to make it the first one, or do I want to put it like between Beaverton Homes and Property Search? So we'll put it there. And this is an important one to remember. Do you want to open it natively, or do you want to open up a new window or new tab, right? Now here's the rule. If you're going to somewhere else on your website, you just do it native, right? Because someone's just searching through your web. You wouldn't want a bunch of tabs open for that. But if you're going outside your website, you always want to put on there new window. All right, so you got to put on there new window if you're going to go outside your website. So in that case, we click on add. Now we've got this, right? Beaverton Homes, find me on Facebook, Property Search, and Communities. When I click find me on Facebook, it loads, and obviously it didn't have the right URL on there, but it loads this separate page up here, and you can make a link that goes out to someplace else. Okay? All right, so that's how we put a link on there. So all we want to do when we build a new page is we want to build a page, and then I'm going to give you a URL for that page, and you're going to just put it in that little thing, and the system's just going to treat it like another link. And it's going to take somebody to the next page in your website. So that's all we're going to do. So let's go create a page. Now, what kind of a page do we want to create? Remember last week I told you guys all about architecture, right? Come up with your ideas and play them out in your head and come up with a plan before you just jump in here and wing it. So if you've got 4 neighborhoods on the east side that you farm, Sellwood, Labs Addition, Hawthorne, and Alameda, right? Those are kind of your areas. You really do well. You've got a couple paragraphs of text. You want to do some save searches that display on there. You've got maybe some video, right? You've come up with a plan in your head, and you're going to put, let's say, a navigation item here that says, you know, my favorite places. Or maybe you put those under communities, right? Put your own pages under communities. Or you have under property search, you have, you know, multiple pages, right? You come up with your plan. And the plan is then, you know, to build those 4 pages, to write all your text. And then once you get into here, all you've got to do is doing it. I mean, doing it's the easiest part. So let's say that we're going to do that. We're going to create, under Beaverton Homes, find me on Facebook. Let's say we're going to create another page, and it's going to be East Side Properties for sale, right? It's just going to be, you can create a ton of pages like this, and certainly the more pages, the better. But we're just going to create one more page that says East Side, you know, Homes or something like that. So the first thing is I know I want to put a jump search on that page. So if I'm going to put a jump search on that page, somewhere I have to define what that jump search is going to be. So in that case, this is the only time I got to go back to the platform. But in that case, I need to go back here to the platform and define that jump search. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go to Listings and then My Saved Searches. Because here's where I'm going to give you the options of where to put that saved search. It's under My Saved Searches under Listings. Okay? My Saved Searches under Listings. So I click there. You'll see I've already got one there. I'm going to do a new one, and this is just like the Home Finder and the Property Detail Report. So this one's going to be East Side Homes. And the criteria, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say, down here to city, I'm going to say everything that says Gresham. That's kind of East Side. I hit count, there's 194, right? So I hit Gresham in there, there's 194 in there, all good to go. That's what I want. I just want East Side Homes, so you would do something different than this, but I'm just going to put Gresham for the sake of time. I click OK, East Side Homes, Gresham. I click Save and Close. Okay. Now I've got this Eastside Homes. That's part of my saved searches. That's all I've got to do. So now I'm going to make a jump back over here. And I know in my head I want to create a tab that says Eastside Homes. And so I'm going to go create that page. So I go up here to Settings, and I click New Page. Okay, we're going to stay on this new page for a little bit because I'm going to show you all the different things that you can do with this new page. I'm recording the session, so if you need to come back here and take a look, that's totally fine. First of all, the name is going to be the actual URL that this page exists on. So it's going to be kenagent.equitygroup.com/ and you know, it can't have any spaces. And I tell you this right here, but no one ever reads that, so I'll tell you it right here. You can only put a hyphen in there. So Eastside Homes for sale. Actually, what we should do is say Portland, right, for good search engine optimization. Portland Eastside Homes for sale. That's going to be the URL string up here, and that's a nice one. Portland Eastside Homes for sale. Now I need to choose what kind of page I want. So let me show you some different page options. This is just a wide open page, and a lot of you will use this because you'll drop in video or you'll drop in saved searches, and you need this big wide format for that. If you just want to do some text, you can do this. This has got an image up here, some text, and little images there. You just select them and just override the image. So you've got a template there and a nice designed page without having to design it in HTML. Same thing with these. This is a nice template right here. This is a form. And then above the form, you can do whatever you want. Drop in video. This is a great landing page that's got an actual form built into it so you can actually respond. This is great for social campaigns, all that kind of stuff. In this case, I'm going to choose this one. So I've got my Portland Eastside Homes for sale. I'm going to choose this page right here and click on Create. All right. Now I'm in draft mode. Okay. How do I know that I'm in draft mode? Not that, I mean, this matters a ton, but just so you know, if you ever wonder, have you published that page yet? Right here, you see this? It says Preview. So I'm in Preview, and the reason we do Preview before you publish is so you can come in and work on a page, and maybe it's not quite done, and you know it's time for dinner or Starbucks or whatever. So you want to come back to the page tomorrow, and so you can totally do that. You can jump in and take a look at this page, and then keep working on it a couple times a week or whatever. When it's ready, then you can publish the page. So right now I've just got it in a draft mode. Okay, I put a bunch of dummy text here so you can actually see where the text is going to go and how it's going to look. I put a dummy header here. Okay, so now let's go through and customize this page for us. It's very simple. So I'm going to go click in here, and I'm going to click Edit. So when I do that, I click my mouse in, and again, I've just got my nice little editor here. So I'm just going to select all the dummy text, and I'm just going to erase it. Now I'm going to drop in the text that I want to. So again, it's a thing on Eastside Homes for Sale. The assumption here is that you would have a paragraph or two that you've written about Eastside Homes for Sale in Portland. For now, I'm just going to type a couple of sentences. So Eastside Homes for sale in the greater Portland area could not be hotter right now. Areas like Gresham, Clouds Edition, yeah, those are like right next to each other. I know that they're not, but you understand what I'm saying. Let's say Sellwood are killing it in the market. Okay, so we've got our text on the page, and now again, what I love to do is embed a video, right? I mean, you've seen this, you saw this last week with me as well, but remember, we could just go to YouTube, grab some cool video on the east side, and in Portland there's a ton of great cool video out there, right? And click on source and drop a video in there. So we do it the same way we did it with that realtor's testimonial page. You just go grab that little iframe code, you put your cursor where you want it, you click on source, and then you're good to go, right? So that's all you've got to do. What I want to do is show you how to get that saved search in here, right? Because that's going to be a page that people are going to bookmark and come back to, okay? So from here, I've got just some basic text, and you can do as much as you want. If you want to add photos, right here, image, I just click on this image icon, and you can upload an image directly. You can upload it here, or you can do an image URL and then just hyperlink it, not hyperlink it, but it'll show from a different URL. So this is where you would upload an image. So that's all good. Now, how do I put my saved search in there, right? Well, this little button right here is your best friend, Import Saved Searches. Could not be simpler. So if I click Import Saved Searches, here's all the saved searches that are in my system right now. So right here, Eastside Homes, that's the one I just created. I click here to save search, and boom, it dumps it right on the page. Now, all you're seeing right now is a representation of what it's going to look like. When I go up to the upper right-hand corner and I click on Save, then you actually see the live data. Right? So there's 192 listings. Remember, we just did Gresham. You've got saved searches right here. People can order high to low, low to high, all the different stuff you've got. I left commercial in there, so there's some commercial and land stuff in there. But you've got the idea is that now I've got a great looking page that's got, you know, a really nice saved search that integrates with my entire search. Everything stays on my website. I've got search engine optimized text. Everything is here, good to go. Now, how do we get rid of this guy, right? RE/MAX Equity Group Real Estate. That's the header of the page. So we've got one right there we want to change, and we've got this one right here. So we jump back into edit mode. So I'm back into edit mode here. Now, this right here, your header and your title are part of your page attributes. So I told you I'd give you a little crash course in search engine optimization, and that's what we're going to do. So when I click on page attributes, I can override those and make those unique to whatever this page is. So my heading, I would want to put something like, great deals can be found in East Portland. And for my title, something like East Side Portland, pretend that I typed that right, homes for sale. This is my meta description. Your meta description is that little chunk of text if you show up on Google's search engine results page that convinces somebody, oh yeah, that's a page that I would want to go to. It's that little chunk of text. You get about 160 characters. So think about it in terms of 2 long phrases. You know, something like, you won't believe the great deals in Portland on the east side right now. Come take a peek at live listings. Come take a peek at the most immediate listings available, or something like that, right? That'd be perfect. It would give someone a little bit of juice to say, oh, that's current data, it's newest data, right? I would want to go jump on that page. Now, these pieces down here, not a lot of people toy with these pieces, but if you really get into social media marketing, you're going to want these pieces down here. This social media image will give you the opportunity to upload an image that will show up when you share this page on the Facebook wall. So you can define what that image is. And it could be something funny. It could be something that's distinctively East Side, right? It could be something unique to this page, or it could be your brand. It could be all those different things. This gives you the opportunity to give the page a different title, and the social media description that shows up when you share the page, you can do that as well. Why would you want to do these differently than the stuff for Google? Well, think of Google as kind of the old man, right? So Google is serious. They would want exactly what it is. You don't need to be playful. Just tell me exactly what it is. Social media is a little bit like, you know, one of my kids. You know, sometimes you want to be a little bit more playful. Sometimes you want to be something a little bit more eye-catching. You don't have to worry about if the SEO terms are correct down here. Down here, you're just worried about catching someone's eye. So we give you the opportunity to fill out all that stuff. I click on Save, and then once I do that, page refreshes. Now look up here, East Side Portland Homes for Sale. Great deals can be found in East Portland, right? So there is where we got our changes done. And I go over here and I click on Save. Now my page is starting to come together. And again, it hasn't taken me that long. I've dumped my text on here. I've got my saved search. That's pretty straightforward. I've got my header and I've got my title. My page is looking good. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm comfortable publishing this page and making it live. So in order to do that, well, first of all, let me show you, let's say we leave this page and come back to it, okay? So let's say we jump back to the home page, or we leave here and we go and play on Facebook for a while, and then we come back here, right? And we're like, you know, I need to take a look at that page that I did, and if that page is good to go, I need to publish that and get that out there in the world. So I hit this little bell. So this little bell shows me I've got 2 live pages, and I've got 5 draft pages. I click on draft, and I scroll down, And right here, Portland East Side Homes for Sale. There's my page. So I click that, and it opens up, and I'm just exactly where I was. Again, I haven't published the page yet. I'm just saving it and continuing to work on it later. So let's say I'm ready to publish the page, and I go over here to Settings, and I click Publish. Right? Here's my edit mode. Here's if I want to start another page. If I want to get rid of the page, I do it here. Page attributes is all that SEO stuff. Now I want to publish the page. I click on Publish. Page refreshes, and you notice what's gone. The preview link is gone. Okay? So now, kenagent.equitygroup.com/Portland Eastside Homes for Sale. All right? I got a great looking page. It's all good. Now, here's one thing, and a lot of you will get this. A lot of you got this last week. That page is live. That does not mean it shows up anywhere on our navigation, right? And that could actually be a good thing. So a lot of people have private pages, and by private I mean there's no links here, but maybe it's a link just from social media. Maybe it's a link for just a specific group of buyers. Maybe it's something that you want to keep without having it on your menu navigation, but you still want this direct URL. That's good to go. If I take this and now send that out in an email to people on the east side that I want to see some really cool results with some really interesting text and a cool video that I made just for them, you could just copy and paste and send them this link. That'd be good to go. No one else is going to find this page because it doesn't show up in your menu anywhere. Okay? So Terry, I saw your question. Terry Cox just asked, yeah, and she just said, perfect, you answered my question. So I saw it about 5 minutes ago. I thought, oh, we're going to get to that, and that's a really good point. So I ran into tons of people last week that are doing social campaigns, right, with questions and those kind of things to generate leads, and they want them to go to a web page that's a lead-generated landing page. It just has a form, some really interesting text, and a couple of questions. You could totally set those up in here, right? So you go to a new page, and you title the page, and you'd pick the layout that's got the form attached to it. You'd put all the stuff you wanted to at the top. You'd publish the page, and then you'd have this link, but it doesn't have to be part of your menu. All right? So for those of you that get that, you're excited because you get it. For those of you that it's still kind of over your head, that's fine. That means you probably don't need it, and that's good. So now I've got this Portland Eastside Homes for Sale, right? So I've got this Portland Eastside Home for Sale. It's ready to go. Now I just need to put it on one of these, right? So I'm going to put it under, I won't put it under Beaverton Homes. I'll put it under Communities. So, no, actually I'll put it as its own link over here. So now I'm going to go up, I'm going to grab this link, and I'm just going to copy it. Okay? I'm going to click on plus. I'm going to say, what do I want to call this? I want to call it East Side Great Homes, right? And what am I going to link to? Well, I went up here and I grabbed that link, but let's say I forgot to do that, which you will a lot of the time. It's totally fine. You can see we still leave the link open on the page behind, so I can still go highlight it, copy it, link to, paste, right there. I'm going to have it first on my navigational tree, and it's part of my website, so I'm going to open it up natively within the application. So I click Add. There it is, Eastside Great Homes. So I go back to my home page if I want to. I've got Eastside Great Homes. I've got Beaverton Homes. Find me on Facebook. Property search, communities. Now I got to be sensitive. I don't go too wide, right? If I go too wide, then I'll start getting a little hamburger over here. So I want to start going down and make sure that these are categorized appropriately. So Charlene asks, will the search update your page automatically? Yes, Charlene, that is a live search. So every time that page hits, it does the search. So if something changes in the next 5 minutes and we go back to that page, it'll be different on the page. So it is a live search page. Okay, good question. So let's say I did this, I love it, but I'm not working the east side anymore. I've had it with the east side. I'm only doing homes on the lake and Lake Oswego. That's my new thing. So I want to get rid of this menu item. So at that point, I hit the little garbage can button. I click it. Do you really want to delete these? I say delete, and then it's gone. As simple as that. Super, super easy. Now, if the page still exists, right? The page still exists up here in my published pages, right? So if I ever want to come back to it, Portland says I can totally do that. I can just click on that. I come back to it. I hit it. I copy it, and I put it back in my menu navigation. But in this case, I want to get rid of it, and so I did. All right. So a couple of things. For those of you that are looking at your drafts right now and freaking out, we have dumped in all of your old pages from the Delta Media system that you had customizations on. But the way they came over, they were missing a ton of page breaks and line breaks, and the formatting does not look good. I'm going to try and have my guys go through there and see if we can clean those up a little bit. So I would wait for Charles or Kurt or Chris to send you an email that all of those are ready for you to go in and edit before you go in and edit those. So if you had custom pages done in the Delta system, where will those be? Well, when you come in here to Web Builder, you click on the little bell, you go to Draft, and when you click on Draft, you should see all of your pages here. So some of you, it'll just be bio. Some of you will be testimonials. Some of you will be just random things that you had totally forgot you built years ago. And that's fine. That's why I put them in draft. I didn't want to publish them without you looking at them. I would say the vast majority of this content, we looked at the date records and the timestamps. The vast majority has not been touched for a couple years. So this is a great opportunity to re-clean that up. Plus the tools you can do now, not just the jump searches, you could do that beforehand, but the tools that you can do and the responsiveness of the page and being able to embed anything. You can embed AVM widgets. Most of you can go to RPR and get a free AVM widget and dump it on a page and have it a lead generator. What's your home worth? And drop it on Facebook every week. I mean, the sky's the limit for what you can do with all of these different pages and how you can use these to build your business. So again, if you don't touch the website, it's totally fine. We'll have communities in there and property search. You'll have the full property search. People will be able to sign up for home finder alerts. You'll have your bio in there. That's totally good. But for those of you, which will probably be like 30 or 40% that really want to go deep, now's the time to get in there and start playing with things. You've got a couple weeks before we go live. And again, once you do one or two of these pages, the first one might take you 30 minutes or 40 minutes. After that, you'll be able to knock them through. We've had people come out of training sessions and the next day have, 10, 15 pages knocked out because, after you work through the first couple, you realize how incredibly intuitive and easy the system is to follow. Okay, so what did we cover? Over here, manage banner photos, new page, page attributes. We talked about that for every individual page. If I'm on the home page, if I'm just here on the home page, and I then go to page attributes, that is the page header right here. If I want to override my page title header for my home page. So what do I mean? So right now we've by default everybody has their first last name and then Remax Equity Group, right? So this I want to be a place where if you type in Steve White Realtor, this is the first thing that comes up along with Steve's profile page on his agent on the company website. Those should be the two of the first 2 or 3 pages that pop up on the web within the next few weeks. So if Steve really wants to market himself more like, Steve White Superstar, right? If that's like his tagline, then he might want to change this header to Steve White Superstar. And to do that, he will go over here to page attributes and then just change out the title. Okay? You can also define your custom description of where you would what would show up on your description for Google search results. That should be great. It should be 150 characters about how amazing you are for buyers or sellers or whatever. All right? So that's what that's for. Okay, so that's a lot. But again, the system can go as deep or wide as you want it to go. So I've just given you tools to build out 100 pages, to change between multiple templates and search styles, to be able to adjust your featured and your sold listings, your bio, to be able to embed video and all that kind of stuff that you want to, change out all your photo rotations, do something custom if you want to, and then of course, do some stuff with your individual brands. So that is Web Builder 101. We are 10 minutes till, so we did great on time today, and you guys did fabulous. I'm going to turn off the recording, and then I'll take as many questions as you guys have. For those of you that stayed for the entire 3 hours, you get 4 gold stars for today and brownie points. I didn't write your names down, but I will think of you in my prayers. Thank you for staying online for so long, and thank you guys for last week. Last week was fantastic. The sessions were excellent. We did about 400 people in 3 days. Questions were good. Everything was really good. So if you guys have questions, let me know. If you need to jump off and get back to work, feel free. Look forward to launching you guys the first week of January. So get to work. We'll send out regular updates over the next week as a lot of these things get tweaked, and we'll go from there.